Welcome to Dogelog Index 6. This is the series where I share the development and the business process of taking a project I started as a joke called Doge House and turning it into a billion-dollar unicorn company that is going to the moon. We have to talk business first because there's some urgent news. Doge Talk has been officially zucked by the one and only Mark Zuckerberg. For the past couple of weeks, I've been talking about how Doge House could solve the problem of discoverability for podcasts or audio content in general by creating an algorithmic audio feed inspired by TikTok. Play the clip. I kind of want to experiment with a feed that's entirely just short audio sound bites, whether it be 30-second funny bits or maybe clips taken from a longer podcast. And then those are used as gateway drugs into longer form podcast episodes. Then I see an announcement for sound bites. Facebook's new short form audio product will serve users a stream of brief clips. Zuckerberg says this product is like an audio version of its TikTok-like video product Reels. Users can share individual clips to their news feeds, or they can consume a string of audio clips joined together and algorithmically distributed in a feed. That sounds a little bit familiar. I wonder where I've heard that before. So it appears me and Zuck are on the same wavelength, down to using the same terminology, which is pretty scary, but maybe it'll be scary in a good way. The press release made it seem like they're going to be integrating this into Facebook or Instagram, which I'm surprised they're choosing to add even more features to both of those two apps. If I was Zuck, I'd be launching this as a separate audio app called Face Talk for two reasons. One, you ignore the negative stigma of Facebook at least a little bit. I know people that hate Facebook but still use the Messenger app, but more importantly, the Facebook and Instagram app have become so bloated with features. Instagram has a main feed, a Reels feed, a search feed, and a shopping feed, and now they want to add an audio feed. If you ask me, that's way too many feeds for a single app. So make FaceTalk its own app with its own identity. You can even add some crappy Facebook integrations, just like how Instagram has it, so Facebook's KPIs are still happy, and I think that is a much better direction. Or you could just acquire Doge House. Either way, Mark, if you end up using my idea, you can send my consulting fee of 1 million Dogecoin to my Dogecoin wallet right here. Thanks. You know what they say, you either zuck or you get zucked. So now I have to zuck the Zucker by putting Doge Talk in Doge House. And here's my plan on integrating that in. Right now there are two main pages. The dashboard where you can see a list of the active rooms sorted by the most popular. And then the room page itself, which, when you join a room, you see. The next two big things that are going to be added to this are recordings of rooms and clipping the audio of those recordings. And what we'll probably do is set up a page just temporarily where you can see the top clips of the day or something like that. Once we've built up a giant repository of clips, that's when we're going to introduce the feed. Doge Talk is going to come alive, and that's how you can consume the clips. And if you enjoy what you're watching or really listening to, then that's going to be associated to either a recording of a room or a live room so you can listen to more. That's all in the future though. Let's talk about the present. I made a very big decision to not raise money for Doge House and instead bootstrap. This was a tough decision. I was dead set on raising because it's what you're supposed to do to create a billion-dollar company. But after doing a bunch of meetings and learning more about it, I came to the conclusion it's not really what I want to do right now. The entire process of applying to accelerators, making pitch decks, weaseling with VCs was entirely uninteresting to me. And I felt myself going into the mindset of just going through the motions and playing a game that I don't want to play. I was worried that one day I would wake up and I'd start keeping track of useless statistics that I would then use to justify business decisions that increased those useless statistics. And I would start flexing the upward velocity of my KPIs because that's all I really have to talk about. And inside of me, I know there's no meaning to them, but it's all I have. And I didn't want that life, okay? Now, I know there's other ways to accept investment, and I was considering them for a little bit, but all of them have a giant commitment that I don't want. Being able to rage quit an entire project whenever I please is very important to me. For whatever reason, when I don't have to do something, I like doing it even more, but as soon as I have shackles attached to me that are forcing me to do something, I start to immediately dread it. So yeah, I have commitment issues. In the dev world, we have bugs on bugs on bugs popping up in Doge House. Apparently, when you have over 300 contributors working on the same project, that stuff breaks, and it breaks a lot. So most of my week has been fixing bugs and writing tests. We got a pull request for deafen, so you can now mute and silence all sound with a click of a button. Unfortunately, this PR did break Doge House for a little bit. The API expected you to send whether you were deafened when you authenticate, which was for reconnection purposes. But whenever you do an update in the web dev world, not all the front-end clients get the update right away. And they didn't know that deafen existed, so they tried authenticating without saying whether they were deafened or not, and it didn't work. We got another pull request that implemented the new design for the profile page, including a banner you can add to your profile, which surprisingly broke Doge House's chat system. It basically boiled down to a type error where a function was returning 4 things and the caller was expecting 3 things. And I know some of you are probably laughing at me right now, as you should be, because I'm using a freaking dynamically typed language. I'm most definitely feeling the pain right now. Elixir is great for a lot of things, I'm enjoying it, but at least 20% of our bugs are from things that a statically typed language could catch on the spot. Theoretically, this should soon be a thing of the past, as our test coverage is at 71% and climbing, so instead of getting a nice squiggly and my editor telling me exactly where I should fix things, I get to parse through a disgusting Elixir error message and try to figure out where the bug is, but nonetheless, no more type errors. I'm a fan of moving fast and breaking things, but I'd like to get Doge House to a place where when I merge a pull request, it doesn't break something big. I'm cool with some edge cases slipping in here and there like it happens, but let's not have one PR take down the entire chat system. Obviously, I've been doing a poor job of reviewing, so I can be more diligent on that front, but I also want some automated tests to help me out, which is why I've started to do some end-to-end tests with Cypress. The purpose of these tests is to emulate what a regular user would do in their browser when using your website. So what I do is I annotate different parts of the website with IDs, and then I tell Cypress to select these elements and click it like they're a regular human, or fill out forms and submit them. And this is what it looks like when it actually runs. So it has like a little UI over here. Here are my tests on the left, and then the right side is it legitimately going on the website and clicking things. So we can run these and we can see first it's going to log in using a test user, and then it's going to basically press a bunch of buttons on the form. See, it's filling out to create a room, and then it's going to mute itself, deafen itself, invite. By the way, if you saw that page hang for a second there, that's Next.js being super slow navigating pages. And there you go. Unfortunately, I can't use this for everything. I realized this halfway through that I'm going to have to switch tools to maybe like Playwright or something for some tests, because Cypress has a big limitation. You can't have multiple windows or tabs at the same time. But Doge House has all these concurrent users in the same room that I'd like to test. Hey, mute him, kick him out, ban him, and I need multiple tabs for that. I did get around to adding a baby feature. If you share a link on social media to a room that you're in, it'll actually show a preview with the actual name of the room and the description. Now that Doge House is using Next.js, this is pretty easy to set up. I only want a server-side render for link previews, so I'm using get initial props, and I check if we're on the server, and if we are, we make an API request to get the room data, and that's just a regular GET request. But if you're already on Doge House's website and you navigate to a room, I just use your WebSocket connection that's already open to fetch the room. But that's it for this Doge log. Stay tuned until next week, where I'll be fixing probably even more bugs, because programming is just fixing bugs.